Good day. It is episode 24 of my podcast, and today on this amazing, sunny, hot day in Glasgow, I will be talking to Michael Ulloa, who is a personal trainer coming all the way through from Edinburgh to speak to me. Michael is someone who I ended up speaking to through Instagram and following. We've following each other, and I think that Michael puts out great content and a lot of helpful information for people trying to get on or start off in their fitness journeys. So it's the first guest podcast I've done in a while, so I'm really looking forward to speaking to Michael and getting that done and getting out there to you guys. Apart from that, it is a week until I fly out to Denmark to compete in my Ironman 70.3. The last 5 months or so, I've come down to this. I've felt everything has went really well training-wise. I have achieved a lot of things in terms of personal bests and times and distances, and experienced some training sessions I never thought I would. And it has been hard. It's been mentally and physically challenging, but it's also been amazing. And I'm coming out this a better, stronger, fitter person. However, within the last week or so, I have unfortunately ended up with plantar fasciitis in my foot, which has affected me running, and I haven't ran in a week and probably won't until Sunday to see how it goes. And I've also ended up with some shoulder problems, so I've had to take a hit on swimming this week as well. So things ain't going too well in the last couple of weeks. However, I'm not going to let it get me too down. I would be tapering down training and easing into the Ironman anyway, rather than going in feeling tired and sore. So hopefully the fitness is where it needs to be. Everything's feeling better. I've had a lot of physio sessions, a lot of massages, and I'm feeling okay. Nothing's going to stop me doing this. If I was to swim with one arm, I would do it. If I was to walk and hobble, I would do it instead of running properly. I'll be there. I'll be doing it. And I'm sure it will all be fine. You can keep up to date on the journey through Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. And thanks everyone who's been giving me support and been giving me messages or donating money to British Heart Foundation. You can find the links for that on my social media as well. Also, should have a long-awaited website up and running soon, and I'm really excited for that. So yeah, it's been busy, it's been tough, it's been challenging, but I'm feeling good, life is good, work is good, clients are smashing it, and things are exciting, man. Okay, here is my talk with Michael. Michael, how are we doing?
I'm not bad, mate. How are you?
All good, man, all good. Just the physio this morning, getting my neck cracked, my back cracked.
Fixing yourself up?
Yeah, that's it, man. Thanks for coming through.
No worries.
I appreciate it, man. Do you like Glasgow?
I do. Do you know what? I haven't explored it enough, so I need to come through a bit more often. I've had friends and kind of business contacts through here that I've promised for a while that I'm going to come through and see. So, of course, I wanted to do this, but it's a good excuse also to come through and see some others, yeah.
Definitely, man. So what's your plans for today? Or what have you been doing?
Going to meet some friends for some food after this, walk around the city, take some nice photos, good social media opportunity, and then see what happens.
Well, you got a good day for it, man.
You know, I was promised that it's always going to rain in Glasgow every time you go through, but it is hot outside.
It usually does, but we've been getting it pretty good recently. So, all good, man. So, first things first, man. Just tell me about yourself. What do you do? A bit of your background. Just go for it, man.
Perfect. Okay. So I graduated as an occupational therapist back in 2011, I believe. I worked for a private occupational health company doing health screening work for about 3, maybe 4 years before realizing I don't actually enjoy doing this. I want to do something that I love, something that I'm passionate about. And I've always loved my training, so thought, let's go be a personal trainer. That looks like good fun. All the adverts promise that you'll make a lot of money and it'll be rewarding. So I studied to be a PT. I did that with Premier Global, so one of the courses out there. And then shortly after doing that, I started to feel quite unwell. Went to visit my GP, and I was promised that everything's fine, no issues, go home. So after repeated trips back to the GP, telling them that I didn't feel right, they sent me for hospital checkups, blood tests, colonoscopies, and if you've ever had one of those, it's not fun.
I haven't.
No, I don't recommend it. And once again, everything came back absolutely fine. So after going home, I decided I'm going to consult good old Dr. Google. Looked around for a little while and saw that I should probably perform an elimination diet on myself. And I shortly discovered that I was lactose intolerant. So that kind of sparked a bit of a love of nutrition. It blew my mind how I could see so many healthcare professionals and not one of them said, oh, do you know what? Your diet might be causing you a bit of an issue here. So from there, I decided to go and study nutrition further. I did the similar course to you that you just spoke about with body type nutrition. Shortly after doing that course, I went and studied with the Nutrition Academy, which is now part of the ACA with Phil Learney. And that kind of brings me here today. I ran a personal training company in Edinburgh for the last 2.5 years, and then decided to go down more of an online personal training route. So started up my own business back in November.
Nice, man.
Here I am.
So that kind of obviously leads into the next thing I was going to ask you about. How did you get into the fitness industry, which you've obviously explained? So is that also how you got into training as well? Did you just decide that, as you were picking up nutrition, you wanted to get huge?
I don't think I'm huge yet. I've still got a long way to go before I achieve that. No, I've always loved lifting weights. I was never that good at it, but I quite liked the way my body looked after picking up a few weights for a long period of time. So I just stuck at it for a few years, started to see some good results, and thought, oh, this seems like quite a good, fun career. A lot of personal trainers in the gym that I trained at down south, they tried to discourage me from doing PT, saying, you won't make any money doing that, but I enjoyed it.
Everyone says, man.
Yeah, they do. It's a competitive industry, but I think if you're good at it, you're really passionate about it, then you should definitely give it a go.
Yeah, definitely, man. So was this when you lived in London?
Yeah, so just south of London. I usually say Brighton just because it's the nearest city, but my parents live down near Gatwick is probably the best place to say.
Nice, man.
I started as a PT down there just before moving up to Edinburgh.
Okay, just in a gym, like a commercial gym, or was it a private?
Yeah, so I actually just did my course. I didn't have a PT job down south until I moved up to Edinburgh, and then I started working for David Lloyd, typical kind of big box gym.
Yeah, man. I used to go to David Lloyd with my dad when I was a kid, man. Not when I was like into training or anything.
Glasgow way, or
Renfrew, the one out in Renfrew, man, which is close to Glasgow, but seemed a bit expensive to be honest.
Gym
I don't know.
They're crazy.
Yeah, there's like £100 or something a month or something.
They can be, when you start kind of throwing in gym, personal training, tennis courts, and all that.
Yeah. I suppose if obviously say expensive, but if it's good enough, you'll get your money's worth in it.
I think it might be the most expensive gym in Edinburgh, but I might be wrong.
Yeah. So then, what happened from there in terms of personal training? Did you go on? Did you say you started your own business?
Yeah. So I worked at David Lloyd for about a year, which I feel every personal trainer kind of needs to do or should do. It's kind of an apprenticeship style thing, isn't it? You get a lot of clients thrown at you. You write a lot of programs for people. And then you kind of find your way, find your style of coaching, and then, I don't know, some people might earn quite good money working for a big box gym like that, but I wanted to do things my way without the structure that a company like that tells you that you should be following.
Yeah. So I actually never worked in a gym.
Did you not?
No, never.
Lucky.
Did you enjoy it, or did you start to think, fuck, I don't know if this is for me because of the way it was, or what was it kind of like?
To some extent, I did enjoy it. However, it becomes very number-driven, and I don't want to badmouth them because they're, for obvious reasons, but I don't know, they say that you need to hit certain numbers to earn a certain amount of money, and when it turns into that, I don't like it. I want to offer...
Feels like sales almost.
It does, yeah. It turns into a bit of a sales role, and I'd rather offer a client that needs personal training, a good personal training structure. Just selling someone PT because you want to hit a number and make some money just isn't right.
Yeah, totally, man. So, what are you doing now then?
So now I started up, as I said, an online personal training company back in November, and I now train clients based mainly across the UK, so Scotland and England, but some abroad as well. So I've had some clients in Australia, France, Spain, And yeah, it's just a bit of a wider reach than before.
Yeah, amazing, man. Is that more fat loss or everybody, or is it
Mainly
kinda
fat
mainly
loss.
fat loss?
90% of my clients are probably fat loss, and it's what I really enjoy coaching as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I enjoy helping people put muscle on, but it's a very long process. I'd rather work with a client who comes to you not really knowing which way to turn, and you can give them the skills that they're going to carry on for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, yeah. Do you find that most people that start up with you for fat loss all have the same kind of mentality, what they think fat loss should be in terms of like eating or training? Because I think that most people just aren't aware of like how they can lose fat without having to hate their life, essentially.
Absolutely that,
I
yeah.
think it's all like there's all these same ideas people have in their head of what they need to do, and I think when they come to somebody who is clued up on nutrition and can help them lose fat, and like their mind's blown because they're like, what, I can actually have a Diet Coke and still lose fat, or I can go out for a meal with my pals and still stay on track. Do you find that that's the case? I find that quite a lot, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the negative sides of social media, isn't it? People kind of get sold these dreadful diet plans, exercise advice, and people feel that they have to grind it out in the gym for hours, doing exercises that they hate, or running on a treadmill for hours at a time. They feel they're going to have to starve themselves, and it just really doesn't have to be like that. I know that we take a fairly similar approach with all the clients that we have, and when you give someone a good nutrition plan to follow, just ideas that they can tweak their diet with, a lot of them come back saying, I can really eat this much food.
Yeah.
And giving people these skills that means that they can diet, if you want to use that word, they can do it for a long period of time without hating their lives.
Yeah, definitely, man. We'll come on to nutrition a wee bit more in depth a wee bit later on. Going back to training, I think I saw you put up a kind of before and after. I think like when you were really young and before, I think it was maybe before you started weight training, and then obviously now that you have been training for a wee while, not physically, but just as a kind of person in terms of confidence and belief or whatever, did training change other things for you out with how you looked?
I think so. I think it was a bit of a catalyst. I wouldn't say it was completely down to the training, but I think the positive effects mentally that come from exercise are just huge.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the things that's underplayed. People come to you because they want to lose weight and look better. They want to come to you and put on a large amount of muscle, but no one really puts that much of a focus on the mental aspect of training, and I think it's the most important part. I've kind of followed your story for a while, and I know that you feel exactly the same way as I do.
Yeah.
But just the feeling of, obviously we all want to look better, and that can help improve your confidence, but just knowing that what your body can do, I think people just underestimate what their body is capable of.
Yeah. I think I saw, again, another post that you made 2-3 days ago about kind of mental health and like how there's maybe a bit of a stigma surrounding people talking about it or feeling that they can admit to struggling with mental health. And I think that especially if I've had people on this podcast I've had like some of my clients who went through a big transformation who I know has had a massive impact on their mental health and stuff. Does training help with your mental health? What does it do for you? And what would you say to someone who maybe suffers with bad mental health who doesn't currently exercise?
I would just encourage definitely get into doing some form of exercise. I know when you're feeling low, feeling anxious, the last thing you want to do is kind of drag yourself out, do a bit of exercise, go into a big busy gym where you think everyone's really happy, really confident, and going to be judging the way that you look. But yeah, exercise can just have a huge positive impact on your mental health. I think the post you're talking about was possibly the one when I was out running recently. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think it might have been you were saying something like guys aren't expected to be upset or whatever. It meant to be fucking tough, but we have
exactly. I think that's
our struggles,
another downside of social media, isn't it? We're kind of all encouraged to show this happy, positive part of our lives, but as soon as something's going wrong, people tend to shy away from talking about it. I was just out for a run recently, and I'd always say that running was one of my strongest sports. And I was only about 3K into my run, and I just felt kind of my heart rate increasing. Feelings of anxiety just hit me really, really hard, and I had to sit at the side of the road for a good 10 minutes just to allow my heart rate to come down, focus on my breathing. And I think it's just a sign that I've been doing a bit too much, maybe not taking care of myself as much. And I just felt it was important to put that up online, just to say that this is the way that I feel from time to time. Most people probably feel exactly the same way. They're just a little bit too scared to say it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Now, that's really cool that you're prepared to put yourself out there like that. It's kind of, I know it can be hard sometimes, showing a vulnerable side or whatever, but I think it's really important that we all do that, because especially, when we are fitness professionals and we're trying to help other people, I think it's important that people don't think that we are fucking robots and that we don't struggle. And I try my best to put out there when I'm when things are getting on top of me, or like when I'm not 100% on things, but trying to still do things like even just walking, going for a walk, podcasts, exercising, to try and pick myself up rather than turn into things that would maybe be a short-term solution and then end up making you feel a bit worse, like drink, junk food, whatever it may be. But it's obviously a hard thing for people to do, but I think obviously when people are talking about it and showing what exercise can do, I think it's going to obviously help other people. Well, I would hope it would help other people, so keep doing that when you are trying to promote that side of things, because I think it's massive, man.
No, completely agree. And you can kind of tell when you've been away from training. I'm sure you feel exactly the same way. If you have kind of 4, 5, 6 days off training, and it happens from time to time when life gets busy, you can start to feel your headspace just not being as clear. You just start to feel these negative thoughts creeping in. So if you are experiencing negative mental health, then exercise. Please just keep exercising.
Yeah, definitely. Or talk to someone.
Absolutely.
Definitely. And even if it's like sometimes social media can be used as like just that opportunity to get shit off your chest. And I don't think anyone out there is going to be judging or like saying anything. Well, I'd hope nobody would ever say something negative about it, but I think that it would just lead to support from others. And I think that just that feeling of getting out there just helps massively, man.
Yeah, completely agree.
How did you end up in Edinburgh?
Girlfriend. Girlfriend.
So you were forced?
A little bit,
No
I did try and resist it for some period of time, and now it's kind of come full circle. So I started seeing my girlfriend just before she came up to Edinburgh for university. Everyone told me, "What are you doing? It's not going to work." And we did long distance for about 5 years, waited patiently, and she was going to be moving back down south and got offered a job with the university. So I thought, let's do it. Edinburgh's a really cool city. I love Scotland, not just saying that because I'm here today on this podcast. I honestly do love Scotland. The people are friendly. The cities are really cool. The food's amazing. They love a good drink. And so I moved up here about 4.5 years ago and haven't wanted to leave since.
Amazing, man. So is this you set up here going forward, or can you see it changing?
I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. As I said, I started a company here, so my girlfriend actually moved down south to London for a job, and I stayed up here after starting a business. And we were kind of deciding where we're going to settle long term, but at the moment, there's just no better place than Scotland. Yeah,
amazing, man. Going back to nutrition then, it's obviously a really important thing when it comes to fat loss, muscle gain, health in general. Did you used to be a bro? I did.
I think to some extent, yeah. I think when you get started, you follow all the bro tactics, don't you? Kind of the 5-day body split where you kind of do chest one day, shoulders the next, legs the other day. And then when it comes to diet, I've done the whole eating chicken, rice, and broccoli for 3-4 meals a day. And I don't know, it works to some extent, but it's just not sustainable. It's not enjoyable, is it?
Yeah, totally, man. Let's talk about that for a second then. Like training splits. I think obviously we could sit and talk about nutrition all day, and a lot of people do, but not a lot of people talk about this kind of thing as much then. So have you switched or previously switched from single muscle groups to more multiple or full bodies or upper lower type things? Is that what you ended up doing?
Yeah, so I started off with the single, the kind of bro split, and then I moved into kind of push-pull circuits, which I quite enjoy. So I still switch up my training into that now and again. I also find I've become a bit more relaxed about my training, and if I miss a day, it's not the end of the world. So I found that switching up into a split that allowed me to hit more than one muscle group at a time, it wasn't as big a deal if I missed a training session. Yeah,
definitely, man. I don't really think many people at all should be doing chest day once a week or back day once a week. I'm really looking at research and volume for natural people try to put on muscle is definitely a better route to go down. But I see it all the time. People going, "Oh, it's shoulder day today," and I'm like,
it's such a better way that you can be doing it. I think we all follow these. When we start up training, we look at all these bodybuilders. We don't quite realize what goes into creating a physique like that, whether it's steroids or whatever it is. And these guys can train for 2-3 hours at a time. They can do a couple of training sessions a day and recover really well. So doing splits like that will work for them, but for the average athlete, it's just such a better way that you can do it.
Yeah, it's insane to think I used to literally train my shoulders once a week. Bad times,
got a good shoulder pump though. Good shoulder pump. So,
so how kind of often are you training at the moment? And what is your training looking like?
So at the moment, I probably lift weights about 4 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week, depending on how much cardio I'm doing on the side. I'm sure we'll probably speak about it in a bit, but I did an Ironman 70.3 last year. And since doing that event, I've completely switched my training up. I've realized that I really enjoy cardio, and doing a moderate amount of cardio isn't going to impact the amount of muscle that I can put on. So I've stepped away a little bit from being so intense with my weightlifting. I'm going out, enjoying running, enjoying going for a cycle, maybe the odd swim, and realizing that as long as if I keep my nutrition on point, you can do everything that you like.
Yeah, totally, man. It's one of the things that I was really wanting to look at doing training for my 70.3 and the fact that I don't want to lose muscle that I've spent years trying. I know I've not got much of it, but I've spent years trying to fucking gain that little amount of muscle that I do have, and I was like, I'm not gonna just let that go.
And also, how have you found kind of introducing more cardio?
Have you ever? I think you've heard of Chris Gethin.
What's that, sorry?
Chris Gethin.
Yes. Yeah.
So
sorry, it's a Scottish accent. I still struggle from time to time.
So I was always had this in my head of doing the Ironman. I've been planning it in my head for years, but also wanting to maintain or grow muscle. And I was just like, I'll look into it at some point. But then he done an Ironman in 6 months, trained for an Ironman in 6 months, but also tried to gain muscle. So I watched that whole series and just took a lot of inspiration from that. I know Chris is a fucking pro bodybuilder, right? So I wasn't like expecting to be making the same gains as he would or anything. But what it did do is it did give me a good insight of how it can be done in terms of not having to do the same typical Ironman training as what a triathlete would do, essentially. I know I was never going to be a competitive pro triathlete anyway. So as long as I could be fit enough to do it, I could also spend time doing muscle building work as well. So just factored in the two. And
have you found that nutrition has played a key part in that?
Oh, it's massive. It's everything, man. Luckily, because I kind of clued up on nutrition, I can do it. But it's all I think about, really. It's like, am I feeling this workout? Am I recovering from this workout? Am I feeling the next workout? Have I got enough protein in to let my muscles recover? Am I eating enough calories? I can't eat too much calories. I don't want to gain too much body fat. I don't want to eat too little because I will then not recover, and then I could potentially lose muscle. It's fucking consuming, man.
But it's good. I think it's being self-aware, as you highlighted there, kind of knowing what your body feels like and kind of pushing it or not.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that people don't pay enough attention to.
Yeah.
They have a program and they're going to stick to it, even if their body feels horrible, and the body's telling them, let me have a rest. People don't listen to that. So it's good that you can.
Yeah, totally, man. And I think you posted something about tracking calories today, actually, maybe? Yesterday?
Yesterday,
yeah.
So I lose track
So,
posting too much content.
I still track my food to this day because I feel it has many benefits. It doesn't stress me out. I can do it in 5 minutes or whatever. So that helps massively because day to day is different, man. You know, if I go to the gym and do a push session and then 45 minutes on the walk bike, that's going to be different calories to a day where I'm out cycling for 3 hours and then running for an hour. So tracking my calorie intake's been massive, tracking my protein intake's been massive, hydration, having to drink a shit ton of water to make sure I'm hydrated. And it's been good, man. I've literally maintained my weight throughout the whole thing.
That's impressive.
I'm literally a pound of a difference from the day I started doing it.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest here. Towards the last month of my training, work was busy. I was still training hard. I let my nutrition slip, and I lost about 3.5 kilo in the last month leading up to the race.
Easy to do if you're doing so much volume, man.
So yeah, it is really key at the end, just keeping things fine-tuned, because you're only a few weeks out now, aren't you?
Next week I fly out, man.
Is it just 1 week? So you've done it right.
I'm almost there, man. And then I felt great up until a couple of niggling injuries in the last week, but so I maintained my weight. I feel I'm a little bit leaner than when I started, so it's worked out pretty well. Next year will be the real challenge as I do a full one. So the cardio will be upped, and it's a case of just doing what weight training I can that I don't burn out and stuff, but it'll be all right.
You'll be good. Enjoy it.
Man, it'll be good. So let's talk about your Ironman. How did you end up signing up for that?
I don't know. It's one of these things, isn't it? You see these events and you think, oh, I'd like to do that. I don't know. I've always really respected people that have done any Ironman events. I've kind of looked at them as the ultimate athletes and thought, one day I really want to do that. So I saw an event come up on probably a Facebook advert in Barcelona, Ironman 70.3, and I thought, now or never, really. Let's just go for it. So I bit the bullet and signed up to it. Another motivator for me doing it was I basically couldn't swim when I signed up to it as well. I had about 10, 11 months to train for the event, and the day after I signed up, I remember going to the pool with my girlfriend who has done a lot of swimming in the past. I tried to swim front crawl for a 25-meter length and couldn't. I got halfway through the length and came out spitting water, and I realized it was quite a big challenge ahead of me, but I always wanted to be a better swimmer, and no better motivator than the thought of possibly drowning in the Mediterranean.
Definitely. Swimming is hard, man. Like,
it's really tough.
I'd say the breathing, to get to grips with that is always going to be the hardest.
Yeah, I think when I cracked the breathing, everything started to fall into place. Yeah. If you don't relax whilst you're in the water, it's just not going to work.
What about your open water swimming? Did you do training in the open water?
I did do a bit. At the time of year that I did it, it was cold in Scotland as well. We've had a better summer this year, so your outdoor swimmings look nice and sunny. I didn't get any of that.
I was in my wetsuit on last week, man.
Good fun.
It was good, man.
I really enjoyed it, but I remember going, it was about 2 months before the event, I went for my first lake swim with Stu, a good friend of ours. Yeah. And I remember kind of cracking ice off the corner of the lake thinking, this isn't going to be any fun. I did it, but I can't say I enjoyed open water swimming.
No?
No. Give me a nice warm
Too cold?
pool. I think, in Scotland, yes. When I was in Barcelona doing the event, loved it. But in Scotland, just a little bit too cold. I think I'm a bit of a southern softie. So.
In the sea, isn't it?
Yeah, it was sea swim.
I was in Barcelona for a stag do a month, July, or 2 months out from my last triathlon, which was a sea swim. So I was training on the holiday, and it was great, man.
The water's lovely. We were really lucky as well. On the day of the event, although it was really hot, and that brought a few issues, the sea was just completely flat. It was like swimming in a swimming pool.
Yeah, I was the same in Brighton, man. It was my best swim to that point. It was my personal best I got, actually. It was just amazing, man. I didn't want to get out.
No, I know. I actually really enjoyed the swim. That was the bit I knew, because my swimming was so bad when I signed up to it. I always thought if I can get out of the sea, finish the swim in an all right time, then I knew I'd be fine. I could grind out the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying my training now in open water, but that's because the weather, and it's like 16, 18 degrees, and I've been going out locks up north in Calendar. Last couple of weekends, and the water's been just amazing.
Do you know, I've seen the pictures and it just looks beautiful.
The water's been amazing, man, and what a difference, because when I went and I trained, when the open water training up in the canal that I go to on a Wednesday, just started. I went at 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. and it was cold, man, and it was hard, man. It was that way. I was like, this is fucking shit. Like,
It's getting your head under. Once you get your head under, you're all right. But yeah.
Yeah. He heated up eventually, but it's in those moments you start to question, why am I fucking doing this? Like, I could just do something a little bit easier.
Exactly. All your mates are kind of having a lie-in at home, and you're about to jump in a freezing cold lake.
Yeah. So what about the rest of the training, man? Did you enjoy your cycles and your runs?
I did enjoy the cycle, actually. I'd never cycled further than, I basically couldn't swim, never cycled further than about 10 kilometers, and I'd never done further than a Tough Mudder race, which is...
Mate, I thought I was an idiot when I signed up for an Olympic distance triathlon when I hadn't done anything, but you've just beat me and dived right into an Ironman.
I like a bit of a challenge, I know. Maybe I'm a bit crazy. And I don't know, I enjoyed the cycling. The cycling routes around Edinburgh as well are beautiful.
I want to check that out, man.
Yeah,
I've got like one route I do in Glasgow.
Yeah, there's a nice route actually just from Edinburgh out to North Berwick. It's pretty flat, so you can really go for it. But
there's no flat in Glasgow, man.
No. Well, if the weather's good, head out that way and I'll join you.
Yeah, we'll do a cycle, man. Yeah.
Up for it. And then my running's always been my strongest. So I knew that I'd always be okay with the run. So I got out and did a few kind of half marathon distances leading up to the race and felt pretty good. Although on race day, by the time you get to the run, you're a lot more tired. So
horrible, innit? Those jelly legs.
Jelly legs, but you'll get there.
So how was it? How was the event? I know you said the swim was good. How was the rest of the event? How did you go on?
Yeah, it was hot. It was really, really hot. It was hotter than they thought it would be as well.
What was it, like 30 or something?
Yeah, it was pushing that, especially by the time you get into the run. It's pretty much midday sun. And
the worst part.
Exactly that. So every time I was getting to any of the water stations, one cup was drunk and the other one was just poured over the top of my head trying to cool me down.
Was it pain? Was it pleasure? Were you enjoying it? Was it?
I didn't enjoy the very end of it, I have to be honest. No, I didn't enjoy that. Did I enjoy it? I don't know. Do you enjoy doing a triathlon?
I love it, man.
You love them? I don't think I was ever a natural triathlete. I'll put it that way. It was something I've always wanted to do, so that was my challenge. I enjoyed it once I finished it, and the accomplishment that you kind of feel
of course.
is great. I also proposed to my girlfriend on the finish line, so that kind of topped it off nicely, set a nice high bar there. But I don't know, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the swim, I enjoyed the cycle, just the end of the run when it gets to about the 7-hour mark and your legs are gone.
Yeah, I think that is going to be tough, like even the couple of brick sessions I've done that have maybe been 10 or 15k, so not even the full amount, have been pretty rough, and I've just been glad to get to the end. So that's going to be sucky, man, like especially if my foot kicks up again, it's going to be pretty painful. But yeah, I just don't know, man. I just find it's mental. It's a mental thing. It's a mental health thing. I find like when I'm out on a big cycle, especially on the route I can go on and from my bit, it goes once you get off the kind of road bit onto it's called the A77. There's a cycle lane on the motorway, so like there's no traffic lights, no cars you need to worry about, and you can just go for it. There's no stopping. I can put my music in and just the where you are, looking out into the scenery, and I just feel like I'm unstoppable at that moment, man, and it makes me feel amazing. And my legs are burning, and it can be hard. And if there's a wind or there's hills, it is fucking hard. But that endurance, the long distance stuff, even a run, going out a long distance run, I just end up getting in like it does a lot for me in terms of mentally, man.
Completely
Definitely does, and it's different to weight training, and that's the thing for me, man. If it wasn't providing anything different, I probably wouldn't be so into it. I wouldn't have been taking on this challenge, but it definitely does, and I found a new mental strength in this training, man. Like the last couple of triathlons I've done, I trained hard, but I didn't go to 7 a.m. open water swimming. I went to the lunchtime one and played it a bit safer, and I didn't go out on my own on the bike for 70 kilometres, and I didn't push myself to a point where I never thought I could get to, and that's been rewarding, man. I find myself like nothing really scares me anymore. I just like if I can go and swim in the middle of a loch when there's nobody there and there could be monsters and shit, and I can do that and come and just get it's scary, but just get on with it and do it. I just feel like anything that anybody throws at me, I can deal with it a lot better because I've been through those experiences.
See, I speak to clients about this as well, and I feel that everyone should do some sort of event like that because,
Definitely.
as cheesy as it sounds, your body is capable of so much more than you believe.
So true.
Yeah, and just the mental strength that comes from doing an event like that, it really is life-changing.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's like comfort zones, isn't it? It's like the old saying, you don't get anywhere staying comfortable and stay in your comfort zone, but it's true because you won't, if you don't push yourself out it, you'll not know what you can do. And when somebody presents you with a scary challenge, you'll shy away, I think. Or you think, I can't do that, and that's not for me. Well, why not? Do you want to do it? You probably do. And you fucking can, but you just don't believe you can until you do something that you think, fuck, I didn't know I could do that. It's a great feeling, man.
Yeah, it really is. Honestly, everyone should sign up to some sort of event like that. You don't necessarily have to go to the extent of doing an Ironman.
That's the thing, yeah.
But like the shorter events and training, I actually really enjoyed that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I do love doing triathlons, but when it gets to that length, it's just pure mental grit, and I do kind of love that.
Yeah. I do enjoy that. I think I enjoy that more than trying to do like a 10K fast. I fucking hate that because it's for me it's really hard. Running's not my strong point, but a slower, more endurance-based run, I get a lot more out of that. It's fucking hard still, but it's not as hard as like, I need to up my pace because I've only got 3K left and I've only got fucking 10 minutes to do it, or whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean? But as you say, it doesn't have to be crazy. Obviously, I'm putting out there every day. The training I'm doing is like double sessions or big fucking massive cycles, big massive runs, swimming a lock and all that. Do a 5K. Like, sign up for a 5K. If you've not ran before, that's going to be a big enough challenge for you in itself. And you'll probably want to do the 10K after it. And just do shit that you've not done before, I think, man. That's the key.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Nutrition then, back to that. You're definitely one for busting the myths.
I do love a myth bust, yeah.
Which is good, man, because, as you say, there's so much nonsense out there, and it's quite, as a coach, trying to help people, when you see people, maybe like just friends or whatever, posting that they're doing a certain thing that's maybe a fad or something that they're being led to believe is going to lead to great results, it's quite frustrating because you know that they're maybe not going to stick to it or it's not best for their health, maybe. What's the bigger myths? The main ones that you're just like, stop fucking teaching that.
Well, it's actually nice. I got a message yesterday on Instagram from someone saying, I just wanted to rack your brains because they followed me on Instagram for a while, and they said, my PT's just told me I'm not allowed to eat fruit because it's going to make me fat. I can see you shaking your head. Yeah.
So bad.
It's so bad. I just think...
I had about 6 apples yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Like fruit is great for you. Don't stop eating fruit. Obviously, don't go and eat kind of 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of fruit if you're looking to lose weight. But the fact that PTs are still spouting this stuff is just completely horrendous.
It is mental, man. I guess fruit, it just leads on to the carb thing and the sugar thing, essentially, isn't it?
That was pretty much it. She said the sugar in it was going to make me fat.
So there's no many things that she will be allowed to eat then?
Exactly
that. It's pretty mad. Any other ones you can think of that you just... Anybody that's listening, in case they are thinking that it's true, to bust it?
I guess high-protein diets are bad for your kidneys is always quite a good fun one as well. Got to eat 6, 7 small meals a day to help you lose weight. Another one that just isn't true. Eat in a way that suits your lifestyle and helps you hit your goals.
Yeah, totally, man.
People overcomplicate things. You just need to go back to the basics. And once you strip back to the basics, then start finding out all the little extra things that can help you.
Man. I think that people are looking at smashing macros and grams and eating X amount of meals before they're even knowing if they're eating the right amount of food.
Absolutely.
On a daily basis, and I've been there, so I totally understand why people are doing it. But again, it's just frustrating when it's out there and you just want to be like, no, just track your calories and make sure you're eating the right amount first, and then fucking nail your macros.
Exactly.
But I think there's really extremes, isn't there? Because like, let's talk about protein then, right? So you'll get folk against a high protein diet, right, which is stupid, and then you'll get folk who are encouraging small females to eat 150 grams a day.
Yep.
And there's another extreme because that doesn't have to happen either. So I think it's just like, trying to find a bit more balance in things, really, isn't it? A bit more realistic for a individual lifestyle.
Absolutely. I think start with where your diet is at the moment. Let's say we're working with a client and they come to us and say, I want to lose weight. And we track their diet and there's so many things wrong with it. They're eating so much processed food. They're just drinking a lot of alcohol, for example. Start working on the basics and cutting out that processed food and then make the bigger changes once they're, as we said, basics first.
Yeah, totally. What about bulletproof coffee?
We won't name, but yeah, I was in a cafe on the way here picking up a smoothie and seeing on the sign that bulletproof coffee is going to help you burn fat. And I don't know, if you're adding extra calories into your coffee, it's not going to help you burn fat.
It's just one of those things where I think that something maybe punted like that, somebody thinks they're going to drink that and just lose fat.
And they're still sticking to their high-calorie diet that's making them put on weight, and then they're adding extra calories into their coffee.
Yeah, totally, man. We could probably sit here all day and talk about
honestly,
myths.
We need to do like a whole podcast just on
totally, man.
Myths.
It's crazy. But again, hopefully there's some folk listening that can take something away from that and just bring it back to the basics and or reach out for help. You know, if they think that they think that they don't know what they're doing, to ask for help.
Please, absolutely. I'm always contactable on Instagram, Facebook, and as
Yeah.
you are. Like, we always welcome people just to drop us a message. We're not going to charge you for a quick response via Instagram.
Yeah, totally.
If you have any questions, please just ask.
Yeah.
There's people out there that are willing to help, that will not try and rip you off and sell you a crazy meal plan or make you sign up to do a load of training.
This is the thing. Like, you do it more than me because you're heavily on social media in terms of posting and stuff, but you're literally just handing out
Free content
and free advice. That if people literally sat went through all your posts, they could probably
get
great results without
Yeah.
actually getting a coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like there is a lot of. It's probably that's the flip side. There's a lot of great information out there that people can access for free, but there's also a lot of bullshit out there that people can access.
That is the problem.
where
It's just information overload at the moment, isn't it? And people are just really struggling to find out what information is true. So my bit of advice would be just find one or two people that you really like and really trust, and stick with them.
Yeah. And if you're paying someone to help you, and you're not enjoying it, like if you're like craving fruit or sugar and you're getting told you can't have it, I think you maybe need to look at going elsewhere because you really shouldn't be suffering.
Yeah, you take the same approach as me. Everything in moderation. As soon as someone tells you can't have something, it's usually quite a good sign that coach is doing something that probably isn't.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be an aspect of hunger and struggle when we're trying to lose fat. Everybody's going to be hungry at some point because you're eating in a deficit and you're not giving your body what it craves, especially if you're training hard. And there's going to be an aspect of that, and it's not going to be plain sailing, but you don't want it to be a horrible process because it's never going to work because you're never going to stick to it, essentially. And yeah,
longevity is what you want to aim for.
Exactly, man. You know, if the scary thing is, you know, when I decided, you know, when my dad passed away, and I made that decision of, right, it's time for me to really change my life here, and I want to change my health and how I look and be able to play football again. Like, I think if I'd went to a coach who had got me doing something that I'd hated and I couldn't stick out, I might have chucked it and I might have gone back to my old lifestyle. I might not even be sitting here, and that's scary to think about. So it's really important that it's something that you can stick out.
Yeah,
like
it really is. Like, obviously, there's going to be an optimal way that you could maybe lose weight, but if that optimal way is a way that you hate, then how successful is that going to be?
Exactly, man.
If you prefer to do Zumba, then go and dance and do Zumba, enjoy it, and that's going to help you lose weight better than sticking to a training plan for like 2 to 3 weeks that's full of exercises that you think, God, I can't wait to get home.
Totally. What does helping others reach their goals mean to you?
It's huge. I love it. It's one of the reasons I got into personal training. I worry that a lot of PTs get into this industry for that reason, but then they realize that it's competitive, it's tough, you don't make that much money when you get started, and they start to go down the selling people personal training when they maybe don't need personal training. But I just love helping people, as cheesy as it sounds. It's why I put out so much free content on Instagram. I always encourage people to message me if they have any queries, because I don't know, I've been given really bad advice when it comes to fitness and nutrition in the past, and it's rubbish when you're wasting your time doing an approach that probably isn't best for you.
Yeah, totally, man. Well, why are we doing this right now?
Exactly.
To just put out some free content that somebody can hopefully listen to and take something away from. You know, I'm not paying you to sit here and do this, and I'm not getting paid to put out a podcast. We're both just doing it because we're sound as fuck.
Yeah, and we just love it. We're just massive nerds when it comes to training and nutrition.
And that's cool, man. So, thanks again for coming through and doing it, man. It's awesome. Kind of flitting between nutrition and training here. Back to training.
Yeah.
Are you doing a marathon? Have I picked it up wrong? Or?
Yeah, no, I am. I am. I've not signed up yet, but I am. I'm going to be doing the Valencia Marathon in December. So it's a bit of time away. Since I mentioned that last run that I went on and my body just didn't feel good, I've stepped away from training the last week or two just to regroup, let my body relax before getting into it. But Valencia Marathon at the start of December is what I want to be aiming for.
Nice.
I'm also probably the same as you. If I do an event, I want to give it my all. I don't want to half-ass it.
Totally.
So I'd rather rest for a few weeks and then I'm going to attack it. I want a good time.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Why Valencia?
My dad's Spanish, hence my weird surname. So
Can I just ask you? How do you say your surname?
Ulloa.
Oh, fuck. Man, right, I'm sorry, right? I've already recorded the intro and I've said it wrong.
No,
and
that's okay.
I'll tell you why, right? That football player plays for, is it Leicester or somebody else now?
Yep.
He's moved.
He's just gone back to Brighton.
Yeah, he's Ulloa.
Yeah, exactly that.
So I was telling you, I trained my client Leo, who follows your page, and she had said to me one day training, "Oh, you should follow Michael Ulloa."
Oh, she's butchered
and
it.
I went, Ulloa? I would think it's like Ulloa. And she went, nah, it's Ulloa.
No, you're right.
So, fuck.
Yeah, no, my dad's from La Coruña,
Apologies.
so northwest coast of Spain.
Nice.
I also just find doing events abroad a bit more exciting as well, make more of an event of it. I'm actually thinking of, pretty sure I'm going to do it. I'm going to move out to Spain at the end of the year for a couple of months.
Amazing.
I can get by with my Spanish, but I want to be fluent, so I thought whilst I'm there, let's do a marathon.
Yeah.
So thinking
that's great.
Yeah, I've never done a marathon before. Since doing the Ironman, it doesn't seem to intimidate me as much as it probably would have done a year or so ago.
Well, you'll be exercising for less time.
Exactly that. And as I said, running's my strongest sport. So I think I can just really enjoy it and get into the training.
Amazing.
Plus, you can listen to some great podcasts whilst running. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm more of a music guy.
Are you?
More of a music guy running. Like I listen to podcasts all the time, walking, or in bed.
Mm-hmm.
But training, I need the music.
See,
man.
I flick between, depending on how hard the training session is. But I think we have a pretty similar music taste as well. So if it's music, then I'm going heavy or hip hop. Like I need someone shouting at me.
Mate, I heard the story that your favourite band's Bad Luck.
They are. I am a big Bad Luck fan. Yeah, it's a good friend of ours, Callum, and I'm a bit of a fanboy. I try and tone it down because I don't want to come across as a bit.
Did you ever listen to his old band, the heavier band, For the Red?
Yeah, I actually saw them play live before I knew Callum, and yeah, I love all his music.
My old band played with Flood of Red a lot, man.
I might have even
in
seen
Edinburgh as well, man. So you never know.
Even see you play it.
You maybe saw me back when I was a little bit rounder,
but yeah, I like heavy music when I'm training, or as I said, some hip hop. So I flick between kind of a bit of Logic, a bit of Russ, something like that.
What's your heavy music of choice?
100 Reasons are always
Classic,
a favourite
man.
of mine. Classic, go old school. Yeah, I was a bit of a pop punk fan growing up, so kind of Blink-182, New Found Glory style.
Oh, amazing! Can't beat it, man.
Yeah, so I listen to everything.
Mate, there's nothing better, man. See that weather right now, out a run, pop punk on.
Pop punk, exactly that.
Oh,
Favorite pop punk band? Favorite pop
the
punk
starting
band?
line.
Good choice.
I've got a tattoo, man.
Have you really? Let me see.
It's right here, man.
Love it.
First ever tattoo, 18 years old. Don't regret it at all.
No?
Absolutely love it, man.
Wear it with pride.
Yeah, starting line, NFG Classic. Saw NFG in London last year on their 20th anniversary tour, man. They went around the whole UK playing like full albums, but different ones in each night. But London, they played 3 nights and they played all their albums. I went to 2 of the nights and saw 4 albums worth. One of them was in the Underworld, smaller venue, like 300 capacity. Amazing.
How did you get tickets for that?
I bought them for like £90. because they're touts.
Do you know, Newfound Glory, the band that I've seen the most, I must have seen them about 10 times.
That's the thing, man.
Yeah.
They tour so much. I'm going to get Callum on this podcast, I think, man.
Please do,
Like,
yeah.
it'd be something different because he's obviously not in the fitness industry, but...
He's a great dude, though.
Yeah, man.
Really,
He's
really
a-
nice guy.
He's just one of these guys that you speak to and you feel fucking...
Motivated, happy, yeah, get him on.
And it'd be good to get something different, ask him, talk to him about, he's been, obviously, Further Ed was like, they got quite big and, now he's doing bad luck and he's been through some shit in his life as well in terms of just like, loads of stuff, man. It'd be just different, so I'm gonna
Plus, he's got an awesome accent. So
he does.
Yeah.
People will love that.
They will.
They'll
California
listen to
accent. Yeah.
What were we talking about there?
I have no idea.
You were talking about, I was like, going abroad, like, people like, I think when I tell people I'm going to Denmark and I need to take my bike, they're a bit like, you're a fucking idiot, like, why are you doing that? What a hassle, and it is a hassle, and it is stressful, but I just don't want to do this amount of training and go to Edinburgh, into it.
Exactly that.
Nothing against Edinburgh.
No, I live there. I won't take it personally, but I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
The whole experience of going abroad with your bike and just running it with people from all around the world, and
Yeah, definitely, man.
it's a great holiday.
That's adds to the experience, I think. I was going to say, the Edinburgh one last year. Did you hear that swim got cut in half?
It did.
Like,
I'm so glad because I almost signed up to that, and I thought,
Did
no,
you?
I'm going to go Barcelona. I want a bit of sun.
Good shout, man.
And because my swimming's not that great, if the sea was how it was in Edinburgh, I don't think I could have done it.
Yeah, well, I think people were getting pulled out
Yeah,
and
they
like
were.
quitting and all that. Imagine you paying your fee and doing all that training
Dragged out the sea.
and
Yeah.
can't do it. That would have been gutting. So yeah, I'm glad I decided to go abroad. No other thoughts of a full one?
I will never say never, just because I'm that kind of guy that will, out of the blue, just suddenly go, do you know what, I'm going to sign up and do an Ironman. I may do another 70.3 at one, maybe. Don't know, because you're going to go full, aren't you?
I have to, man. There's no turning back now. Like I put it out there. They do the charity page I've set up for British Heart Foundation. I knew I was going to be doing it, so I didn't want to like ask people and then next year ask again. So I'm leaving the page open, and it's like a 2018 half and a 2019 full page.
Okay.
So I'm doing it. I need to do it.
You're in. You said it on here now as well, so you got to do it.
Yeah, man. But literally, the whole point in it is, if somebody can look at me at 25 and who I was, and then at 31 doing a full Ironman, why would you ever tell yourself you can't do anything, man?
Yep.
Cheesy but true.
It's so true.
It is, man. I think you should do one
Yeah.
next year with me. There's a lot of people claiming like certain things are healthy or unhealthy. It really is as simple as that. What is health to you?
Balance. I feel that, especially when it comes to diet, everything can be consumed as part of a healthy diet. Some people will say, what? Alcohol and all this kind of stuff that gets a really bad rep. But I think you just need to find what works for you. I love junk food. I'll just say that. I'm a personal trainer.
Tastes good, man.
Yeah, I'm supposed to eat healthy kind of 99% of the time. But I think as long as 80%, 90% of your diet is coming from some pretty good ingredients, healthy foods that nourish you, make you feel really good, then there's nothing wrong with chucking the pizza back, having a few beers.
Definitely, man. I think that, a diet isn't healthy. A diet in general isn't healthy. Meat eating, vegan, vegetarian, paleo, low carb, high carb, nothing is healthy unless you live a healthy lifestyle. Like, the amount of people that I see, telling people if you eat this, you're like, you're going to die, or you're unhealthy, or it's blah, blah, blah. But then the same person would have no issues knocking back 12 vodkas and 3 shots and cigarettes at the weekend. It's like, well, you can't really claim health when you're not living a full, rounded, healthy lifestyle. As you say, moderation for everything, but there's just too much like trying to push one thing, one agenda, one kind of lifestyle. And I think that, again, you just need to look at, are you training regularly? Are you getting vitamins and minerals in your diet? Are you drinking a lot of water? Are you sleeping well? It's more than a diet, essentially, isn't it?
I think it is. People like to be part of something as well, like when it comes to paleo, fasting, low carb. People just like to be part of a movement, and if you're not part of that movement, then you are wrong. And it's just the worst way to be. Like, every diet may work for someone out there.
Yeah.
A diet that works for me might make you feel horrible. You might not perform very well, but it works for me.
I love my dairy, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm lactose intolerant, and I do miss eating a lot of dairy, but
No yogurts?
no yogurts, no. I used to love Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, milk, everything, but
Because like Greek yogurt has got a lot lower lactose content, isn't it?
it has. I'm
Just
quite
bes-
sensitive
still
to
just,
it.
no, it's still a no-go.
It's just a no-go. It's just not worth it. Yeah, I also can't do eggs either, so I'm just a
Oh,
bit of a
shit,
nightmare.
man.
So I can't stick to that bro diet, really, chugging back gallons of milk and eating 5 eggs for breakfast.
What was it? There was somebody yesterday, pre-workout I saw was 3 raw eggs and something in a blender. Fucking almost sick looking at it, man. Like, don't know why.
Bit of
put himself
salmonella on
through
the
that.
side, just for a bit of fun.
Not good. But yeah, no, you're right, man. It's like balance and just like a well-rounded lifestyle, essentially, man. And just try
Exactly.
not to be perfect, man.
No, exactly. I think you just need to try a few different approaches and see which one works for you. You might work really well on a low-carb diet, or you might feel horrendous. Yeah, I can think of anything worse. But do you know what? It works for some people. If it helps them stick to their diet longer and helps them lose weight or perform better when they're exercising, then do it.
Yeah. Just like stick it out, see it out. Like, don't give it like a month, and because you've not lost 3 stone or look amazing like that, or you've failed or whatever, it takes time, man.
It does.
It really does. Obviously, some people you will see fast results out there with people, like, and that's just because some people. Like, I've got a client who came to me, like, a guy 17 odd stone, right? So in my head, I'm thinking could take a while to get him to where he needs to be. When he's telling me consultation, diet's no great, lifestyle's no great, but just for whatever reason, he's just taken to that eating well and changing how he lives at the weekend and stuff really well, and he's progressing so quick. But he's not doing it in like a wrong way. He's eating enough, he's training hard, but he's progressing really fucking fast. But not everyone's going to be like that. Some people will find it harder to learn how to track their food, to learn what foods work for them in a calorie deficit and what don't, and what training they enjoy and stuff. Some people just take longer than others and just don't what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Don't compare yourself to other people.
Absolutely.
Don't compare your
Everyone's
results to
on
other
their own
people.
journey. Exactly that.
Yeah.
As soon as you start comparing yourself to others and the results that other people are getting, you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, man, and just give it time. And if you're honest with yourself and you know you're putting in the work and you know you're not fucking about at the weekends or your diet, then it's going to happen. But on the flip side, if you are fucking about and it's not going to happen, then being honest is really hard sometimes. You know, I've been there myself, man. Like, why am I not getting leaner? And you know, if I was to literally get filmed for the whole weekend, probably like thousands of calories that I'm not in my head.
Yeah.
I didn't eat, and that's sad, but it's true. What's happening in the future, man? Obviously, you've spoke about your marathon that's coming up, but like anything that's coming up. Business, what you got any plans business? Why you just done seminars? Just a seminar?
Yeah, so I ran my first seminar in Graham's Cafe in Edinburgh. Are we okay to plug places around here? Yeah. So Graham's Cafe, which is opposite Haymarket, I ran my first seminar from there last week.
Nice, man. How did that go?
It went really well, actually. Yeah, had a really good turnout. I just put a message out on Instagram stories and said, if I put this seminar on, would anyone be keen? And got a ton of messages back. So it's quite a small cafe, so we fit about 25 people in there, but really good turnout. Everyone seemed really engaged, got loads of questions. So I'm thinking of running those on a regular basis now.
That's cool, man.
I quite like the face-to-face interaction with people. It's different, completely different to doing it all through social media.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, I started up an online personal training company, so I'm doing majority of online personal training now. So I'm just going to keep plugging away with that.
Yeah, man.
Getting great results with all my clients through there. And then thinking of, not really said this to anyone yet, but thinking of launching a fitness event in Edinburgh for the start of next year, which I was actually going to ask you to get involved with as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's where I'm at the moment.
That's amazing, man. Well, good luck with everything, man. Just coming to the end, anything you want to talk about we've not talked about? I know it's a bit of an on-the-spot question. Every time I ask somebody that, they're like, No.
I guess I was just going to actually ask, in regards to your Ironman training, what supplements you're working with at the moment. Yeah.
Not a lot, man.
No?
Creatine.
Mm-hmm.
Take creatine on a daily basis. Well, when I remember, man, the amount of days I've been like,
I'm
fuck,
exactly
I forgot my
the
fucking creatine.
Yeah.
I really need to like fucking stick that.
Do you know, I've got into a habit of my creatine now. I used to put it in my shakes when I had protein, but the amount of times you forget to use that as well. So I've now got a habit of, I wake up in the morning, I walk to the kitchen and down my creatine with a glass of water.
I'm going to need to remember for next year to really be on top of that because I forgot it quite a lot. But creatine is something I'd use. I supplement a lot. I take magnesium, like high strength magnesium. Recovery and I use magnesium spray just to help with recovery. Again, it's all recovery really. Benefits magnesium. My sports therapist, she's massive on getting me to take a high dosage, like more than what it would tell you on the packet, and use my spray for, especially my legs. My legs are like so overused, man. Like I'm trying to squat, I'm trying to deadlift. I'm doing a lot of running volume. I'm doing a lot of cycling volume.
And standing on your feet, training clients all day.
Exactly,
as well.
I'm on my feet all day. I play football. I've calmed that down the last few weeks just to reduce the risk of injury.
Rolling your ankle, exactly.
I know, man. So, but football, 4G pitches, it takes out you. So legs are fucking overused a lot, man. So, magnesium spray on that. I take a fish oil as well, just for inflammation and joints and things. And I'm not a massive supplement guy in terms of like, I'm trying to think of the ones that would maybe like glutamine or trying to think of ones that would maybe get punty to take that I'm just not really, there's just not been enough evidence to show that it really works really for me to use it.
Protein supplements as well?
Whey protein, yeah, I like a smoothie, especially. I'm usually hungry all the time, but sometimes after a really hard endurance session, I'm not so hungry. So just for recovery purposes, man, I'll fire whey protein, frozen fruit, milk, and probably porridge oats into a blender. Lots of it, and just blend it up, and just it's so easy to take in, and it, gets my protein count up. Anything else? Nah. I literally think that's it, man. Everything else is just food. I eat a lot of food, man. Some days...
It sounds like you pretty much have the same supplement stack that I was using when I was training as well. Yeah, any vitamin D3? Living in sunny Scotland?
No, I've not taken vitamin D3 in ages, man.
You've had the sun here for 3 weeks.
Well, that's it. Why. But it's been longer than that before I've taken it. Yeah, it's just I did used to take vitamin D3. I think I just ran out and stopped buying it and never really noticed any change, so never bought it again.
I've got more holidays. It's a good excuse.
Yeah, that's
not buying supplements. Yeah,
but I used to be really bad for not eating enough fruit and vegetable. Not because I didn't think I should or anything, just not exactly that exciting sometimes. You know what I mean? So the shake I was talking about, I'll always put some spinach, kale, maybe some celery or something in it. I'm eating a lot of fruit now. Last couple of weeks, I've just been making sure that my calories are right, but I do use flexible dieting, man. Like, I'll burn a lot of calories most days, so I can always fit in a cheeky Snickers ice cream, McDonald's chicken selects or something like that. Last few weeks, I've just been totally filling up my diet with fucking proper food just to make sure that I'm feeling on top of my game. And I've been eating so many apples and berries and grapefruit, and I love it, man. I don't think I'm going to stop that. I think I'm going to keep up with that because you get so much more food, more volume, and I do love it, man. Yeah, that's about it, man. And just shitloads of water. Up all through the night, peeing, but it is what it is. Just, I think people really underestimate hydration, especially when it comes to training. The amount of times where, say, our clients come in and they're like, "Oh, I don't feel great. How much water you drank today?" Nothing. I'm like, fuck. Drink more. Like, you keep telling them, but people keep forgetting, or they just don't think it's that important. It really is, man. So I take a lot of BCAAs. No, I'm kidding. However, I was thinking of buying some because
they taste good.
oh mate, there's one. What was it? Watermelon. I think it's On It. Is it On It? Is that the company? I'm sure it is On It. You all right there? You got a wee cough, man? Yeah, the watermelon one's really nice, and just for hydration purposes, I put in my water. But yeah,
Do you know what? I use the My Protein one. It's like Berry Blast or something, and it's so good.
that is nice, man.
Yeah.
Was that the blue one, or was that the
Yeah.
or raspberry, blueberry? But yeah, it's nice. However, it turns your shaker all blue and your teeth all blue, which isn't great, man. Last thing, then, man. What would you say to anyone who's listening to this and has not started a transformation journey yet, whether it's fat loss, muscle gain, mental health, whatever it is? What would you say to them who's like thinking about it but doubting themselves or doubting, what to do or anything? What's your advice for somebody who's in that position?
I guess the first point I would always make is if you aren't ready to make the change yet, then there's nothing wrong with that. Don't go beating yourself up if you're not ready to make the change. So start there, but then don't go setting really optimistic goals. If you've got a lot of weight that you need to lose, if weight loss is your goal, then setting yourself a 10-stone weight loss goal is you're just going to intimidate yourself out of it. So set yourself really small, meaningful goals and just start small. Start really small. So let's say that you don't exercise at all at the moment. Just say, right, 2 times a week, I'm going to go for a walk. Just something really nice and light, get myself nice and active. Or even if you don't go to the gym at all, maybe just say 1-2 days a week, I'm just going to go to the gym, do something nice and light, and build up my confidence. There's nothing wrong with starting really, really small. Don't go setting yourself really optimistic goals that are just not going to be stuck to.
Yeah. Sometimes I get a little bit worried that, especially from my training the last few while, that, it's maybe even off-putting because folk are like, fuck, man, that's like so much, or like, that's crazy. I couldn't do that, whatever, but like, I obviously am only doing all this because I've spent years building up to a point where I'm able to focus on maybe like 3 goals at the one time,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think that 1 goal at a time is really important as well. Yeah, all right, I'm trying to get bigger and be fit as fuck and do everything else, but I think when you're first starting off, just have a goal, whether it's fat loss, and go for it.
Absolutely.
It's hard when somebody gets into it because they then realise what they're capable of, but then they start to maybe go into another goal when they've not quite yet got that fat loss that they want, and then it can kind of affect each other, or it ends up too much. So I think like sticking to one thing is really important, man.
I think you just need to be aware that from the get-go, you need to realize that your goals are probably going to take you a lot longer than you want them to. If that's muscle gain is going to take you years to achieve. If you've got quite a bit of weight to shift, it's going to take a long period of time. It needs to be a complete lifestyle change that you can see yourself sticking to and doing for the rest of your life. Once again, it sounds really cheesy, but it is the way it is. You're not going to lose 10 stone in a couple of months. You're going to have to stick it out.
Yeah, and nobody walks about ripped out their tits every day of the year unless they are a fitness professional model whose life it is to be in shape. Most people are in good shape, and then if they diet down for a photo shoot or an event, they're going to be in great shape. But I think that people think that the realistic aim is to be ripped all year round, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, and that's where social media can play a part, but it can have a detrimental effect. Follow accounts that really motivate you. Some people will say stay away from social media because it can be discouraging, but there are certain accounts that will motivate you. I like to think mine and your Instagram pages, Facebook pages will help people feel motivated and want to change.
Definitely.
But if you're following certain accounts that every time you're looking at it, you end up feeling crap about the way that your body looks, then why are you following them?
Yeah.
Unfollow it.
It's just not realistic, man.
Yeah.
And it's harsh, but it's true.
And fitness magazines as well, they can be motivating, but once again, they're full of people looking perfect and photoshopped as well. These people don't even look like that.
You had a wee column, didn't you, recently?
I did. I was in Men's Health magazine.
How did that come about,
That was
man?
pretty exciting. I just bugged the editors long enough until they put me in it.
Oh, amazing, man.
Yeah, just persistence. I sent out a lot of emails consistently until they thought, we better give him a piece, otherwise he's not going to shut up.
What did you put in it?
So you don't really get too much, artistic license within it. They approached me and said, we've got this article. If you want to help with it, let me know. So they wanted a body weight exercise that looks really impressive, that is actually not that difficult. Whether a handstand press up is that, I don't know. It is pretty challenging.
I've never done one.
After this, we're going to do it.
If my shoulder isn't sure.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, don't do it then. So yeah, it was a really good experience, and I'm hoping that will hopefully lead to more writing. I really enjoy kind of writing blogs on all my social media pages, and magazine writing is something that I want to get into.
Awesome, man. Where can folk find you?
So mainly on...
Obviously, I'll tag you on this. Anyway.
Thank you. Mainly on Instagram is where I have kind of the biggest following. So yeah, my name is Michael Ulloa, so that's ULLOA and then PT after it. And exactly the same on Facebook as well.
Cool. Any other avenues?
At the moment, no.
No.
There should be more. I'm thinking of launching my own podcast as well, which I'm
Nice.
going to have you on. We spoke
Amazing,
about earlier,
man.
So hopefully there will be that to follow me on as well soon.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for coming on, man. It's been great.
Thank you so much for having me.
And yeah, I hope you enjoy your rest of your day in sunny Glasgow, man.
Well,
Cheers, man.
thank you.